right, so Gotti, John Gotti Jr. the third, is that right? John Gotti III. And yes, that John Gotti fights Floyd over the weekend, and the fight comes to an end. And Gotti, for what looked like entertainment purposes, then attacked Floyd, and a bit of a melee ensues. And I got to tell you, I saw the clip and I saw it about 3 times, but he got cut off right there. I don't know that hell broke loose in the ring. I read somewhere that it did. The video that I saw, I think a whole bunch of people came in the ring, and I think tensions were high, but I think that everything kind of died down right there. So how accurate that is, I want you to know why I think that, and I want you to know that that's the only part that I'm speaking to. And when I say for entertainment reasons, Gotti didn't go after Floyd when the fight was on. And when Gotti went after Floyd after the fact, he missed him, barely touched him, looked like he was trying to miss and or barely touch him. And the second that Kenny Bayless did anything that even resembled breaking it up, Gotti flies across the ring into his corner. I mean, right, like it was Superman. Just like Kenny Bayless was just Superman. You get back, and he flies back. He looked like he was very cooperative. He was waiting for that instruction. He didn't want to be doing that, and he was trying to offer the fans some level of entertainment. Now, that would be a very nice situation for what you just saw. If the way I just presented it got convinced to a jury, that would be very nice. I would have touched on reality a little bit. I would have glossed over and we would have sanded it down. But let's just operate under this function, because the commission has now come out and they are suspending the license of Gotti. That's interesting. It's very interesting because we were told this was an exhibition bout. So if it was an exhibition bout, what we were all told, there would be no commission. If Gotti has a license, the commission can. I mean, it's a privileged license. The commission could come in. The commission could come in if he was found guilty of a minor traffic violation. There are some jurisdictions within Canada, if you have a DUI, you're not getting a license. So, I mean, I'm just sharing for you that I do get the jurisdiction scope is pretty wide. But we were told that was an exhibition match, which specifically means there's not a commission. And I don't know who the promoter of the match was. They were not good promoters. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I heard about the fight the day of the fight, and I live in this space. I am the biggest and most influential media voice in all of combat. Nobody ever sent me a press release. I didn't see a weigh-in, and I don't think there was a weigh-in, though there might have been, and this promoter just didn't know that that's a good idea to show people. What I'm attempting to share for you is with what scope and with what authority are they going to suspend his license? And moreover, does he have a license? If he does have a license, why? Why, if it's an exhibition, does he have a license? They expire at the first of every year. There's been no fights discussed or even booked for Gotti within the year. Now, I'm of course speaking about boxing. Perhaps it was an MMA commission and Gotti would be licensed, or at least be reasonably that he was licensed for MMA. But I'm speaking to a bigger issue of how could they do that. So now the fight has come to a conclusion. It has come to the conclusion to the form of disqualification, and whether it's over by 1 second or it's over by 1 hour or it's over by 1 day, there is nothing within the bylaws that draws a distinction. It's over. So the commission had authority, as they must have, to discipline, but the contest was over, even if by a second. You now don't have a violation. You now have a crime, or you have a suspected crime. But either way, you have now passed the baton to local authorities and out of the scope of the commission, or so it could be argued. Now, if any part of this you think I'm coming down on the commission, I'm not. But I'm curious. I'm curious if this was an exhibition, which we were told it was, why there's a licensing question and why there's a commission involved. Because otherwise, it's pro wrestling, right? Like they don't get to see this and say, yeah, but we saw what happened and this is really wrong. No, you don't get to do that. If you weren't sanctioned, you weren't overseen, you don't get to do it. It's now a play. It's now professional wrestling. It's now acting. And believe you me, there are plenty of people that would like to go and arrest Al Pacino for killing people with machetes and selling cocaine because they watched the movie Scarface, right? Like there's plenty of people out there that can't draw a distinction between a performance and testimony. But now you have a commission that is saying that they are going to sanction Gotti. I don't think Gotti's going to fight back. I don't know that he thinks he can fight back. And on those cards where they do exhibitions, they very commonly will do actual fights. Just now they stop. Right now the commission's time has ended. The commission can get up and leave if they want, but their time has ended. It's very important that you know a distinction between commission time and non-time. It's very important for liability and for insurance reasons, but I just share for you, if they were there that night and there's a melee, that's a problem. The commission's job, and the commission that's watching this right now is going to attempt to argue over what I'm saying. I'm not sharing for you that I have a good point. I'm just sharing a point for you, but the commission is going to argue that even if that fight is over, which it was, so now they don't have authority, they're going to argue, yes, we do, because you were within the parameters of the apparatus. And that is accurate. There is a commission area. There is a designated commission area, and anything that happens in there is within their purview. But the problem is they got one job, which is to secure an area, and they failed to do it, which is what the melee represents. Now, you guys might remember Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. And this was one of the great deeds. This really was. You know, Bob Bennett has retired, and Bob should be remembered fondly. Bob did a very good job, and he did it quietly. He wasn't looking for attention. Bob Bennett did a good job. He really did. One of the great moves that he ever pulled. Conor McGregor is a victim of a crime. Multiple crimes happened to Conor McGregor. In front of the world, in the presence of the governor, in the designated area of the commission failed miserably. And how much liability you want to put on them for an unforeseen act, you can try to have a nice heart on that. Every courtroom in this country is deciding those cases right now today. Somebody is at fault in every situation. That was the commission's area. That was the commission's job. And the commission failed. And a crime known as assault happened to Conor McGregor. And guess what they did? They knew that we got a problem. They knew we have a big problem. We don't know who from the audience is going to come out. We don't know if there's a guy in row 31 that's going to fall down grabbing his heart and is going to come back and sue us within the next 2 years. We don't know what is going to happen from this. But we do know that the greatest defense is a good offense. So let's suspend Conor McGregor. You guys remember this? Conor settled with him. Conor McGregor, he didn't settle with him because he thought he did something wrong. He didn't know. He just listened to them. They said, hey, give us 50 grand. It might have been 150 grand. It was something. It was something very meaningful to the average person, and Conor gave it to him. But you have to understand, when Conor is reaching this deal, give us 150. Oh, we'll settle at 50. When Conor's coming to this deal, he's not just thinking defense. He's not thinking offense. He's not thinking of the reality that I was assaulted. So he got assaulted because they failed at their job. They failed to protect an area, the only area that they are there to protect, and they failed. That's what happened. But they went on the offense. They went after McGregor. Instead of them being sued, instead of an attack coming back on them, instead of civil suits and class actions and whatever else you wanted to do with an environment that was so bad that the governor's security had to run him out the back door, they took $50,000 from the victim. And it was one of the great moves that I have seen in my time of studying the sport. And I'm wondering, is that what's happening here? The commission, who we were told was not there that night, now all of a sudden was there that night, in a match that we were told was an exhibition and out of reach for them, they are now claiming they have authority over. They are worried about what's going to happen and who possibly got punched in an area that was supposed to be secured by them, so they've got to have a scapegoat, and it sounds like they found one. John Gotti Jr. being suspended by a commission who the world was told was not in charge that night.